Howdy folks, Happy New Year, welcome to 2025 and welcome back to World of Warships with Rear Admiral Jingles. Yes, I know it's been a while. It hasn't been 4 weeks as some of you have been claiming, it's been 2. Well, it's been more like 3, but it hasn't been 4. I've been on my 2-week Christmas break, publishing videos that I want to publish because I'm enjoying the games rather than because it's a Tuesday. But we're back. Normal service has now been resumed. So what do we have for you today to mark the first World of Warships video of 2025? Well, this, in the excellent Tier 9 Pan-American battleship, the Los Andes, is Zaramet. He's divisioned up with the Venezia over there, captained by Blitz. They are in a division, they are on voice comms, although you can obviously see Blitz sending a lot of messages in chat there. This is because Blitz doesn't have a microphone, so while he can hear Zaramet, in order to communicate back to him, he has to use the chat commands. Which is why you'll see Blitz a lot in chat, but you won't see Zaramet at all, because he does have a microphone. So, with that explained, what do you need to know about the Los Andes here? Why is it such a good ship? Whole bunch of reasons, really. I'm struggling to find anything bad to say about the Los Andes. It's just one of those ships where everything about it is at least good, if not excellent. You might think she's a little undergunned, because at Tier 9 she does only have 15-inch guns rather than 16 or 18-inch. But, well, yeah, but she does have 12 of them, and they are fairly accurate. So I wouldn't really call this ship undergunned, not at all. Also, the secondaries are just outrageous. This ship's secondaries are 9.2-inch guns. Just to put that one into perspective for you, heavy cruisers in this game are on with 8-inch guns. This ship is the equivalent of going to battle with a Hindenburg strapped to both sides of the ship. The secondaries hit ridiculously hard. And the ship's funny button, the F key there, boosts the range, accuracy and rate of fire of the secondaries. You charge it up by either being shot at, so potential damage, or scoring hits with these 12 reasonably accurate, although it does have to be said not particularly fast firing 15-inch guns like that. Although that was a pretty miserable result. I mean, he scored some hits. It was only 4,600 damage on the enemy Los Andes over there. Yeah, I suppose you could say that's one of the weaknesses of the ship, if not the only weakness of the ship. Well, it's not a slow reload on the main battery guns, I mean, this isn't a Vermont or anything with a 40-second reload, but it's, it's not a Scharnhorst with a 26 or 27-second reload either. 33 seconds isn't slow. I mean, 30 seconds is the average. But it's awkward. It's just slow enough for you to think, come on, get on with it, you know what I mean? But it's not bad, I guess is what I'm trying to say. And, it kind of makes up for it with the sheer volume of fire that it puts out, 12 guns after all, and the pretty good accuracy. I guess the short version of all this is that nobody can really say that the guns on the Los Andes are bad. And, oh, wow, the Megami just got slapped into the middle, and the Z-44, oh, this is not looking good. I think the Megami's trying to make it to the cover of the smoke screen up there, dropped by the Z-44. But I'm fairly sure the Megami is about to become the first casualty of this battle. Oh no, he's made it. He's made it. He's managed to go undetected. But the thing about smoke screens is that they're torpedo magnets. So there goes the Megami. And here we see the other fantastic thing about the Los Andes, as Zaramet turns hard to dodge these torpedoes. Look at that maneuverability. This thing will outturn destroyers, and I'm not actually exaggerating, it really will. I was in a game in I think it was the Split Pan-European Tier 8 destroyer, and I was sailing next to a friendly Los Andes, and a threat suddenly appeared on the other side, and so we both turned hard to engage it, and the Los Andes outturned me. And I was in a Tier 8 destroyer. I mean, this thing turns ridiculously quickly. Oh, the Brisbane's in so much trouble. Mind you, the enemy Schmalen's in a lot of trouble as well, because that is a Brisbane, and he's dead, but he did manage to get his torpedoes away. Oh, the only good thing about that situation is, well, one, the Brisbane survived, but the only reason he survived is because those were Pan-European torpedoes. The thing about the European torpedoes is that they do tend to be very, very fast, and the ships that launch them tend to have a very, very quick reload, but individually they do miserable amounts of damage. I mean, I've had games in the Tier 9 Austro-Hungarian destroyer, the Jaeger, where I've scored upwards of 40 torpedo hits, and I've only done 200,000 damage. 40 torpedoes. I don't think there is another destroyer in the game that's not pan-European that could score 40 torpedo hits, because you'd run out of enemy ships to sink with the amount of damage you would have done before you get to your 40th reload. I mean, a Japanese destroyer, or a German, or American, or British, any other destroyer other than the pan-Europeans doing 40 torpedo hits in a battle would probably be looking at 800,000 damage. Oh, enemy Azima spotted, given a broadside. Oh, that's a paddling. If he can get the shots off. And he's gotten the shots off. Can the Azima get into cover before getting slapped? Nope, that was a Citadel. So the Azima just got spanked. Unfortunately, actually no, the enemy Los Andes is turning away. Now, down to the southwest, the team have just lost to North Carolina. In fact, they're getting their arms handed to them big style down by Cap Circle Alpha. But Zarama gets away with this because the enemy Los Andes was turning away and wasn't in a position to paddle his broadside the way he just paddled the Azimas. Also, under the circumstances, it's extremely likely that anybody that actually had a shot there was going to be aiming at blitzing the Venezia, because cruisers are easier to kill than battleships. So, yeah, Zarama. Oh, hang on a second, there's the Azima. Now, the Azima did just get his ass handed to him, crossing the gap between the islands over there while giving broadside to a Venezia and a Los Andes. Surely he's not going to do it again. I don't know why I tried. You know that's exactly what he's going to do, isn't it? Because of course it is. I mean, why would you learn from your mistakes? Oh, lordy, look at this. Oh, well. Too bad. So sad. I mean, come on. It's not hard, is it? The Azima, of course, was definitely not the threat over here. While the team are getting their arse handed to them down to the southwestern Cap Circle Alpha, at the moment there's only 2 of them left. Although the friendly Cossack is taking the opportunity to take advantage of the enemy team being mostly occupied either at Alpha or Charlie by not only sinking the enemy Yugamo, but also flipping that central cap at Bravo, so good for him. But now there's only 1 friendly ship left alive all the way down to the south, and it's a Halland. And there's no way he's taken on that cluster of enemy ships around Cap Circle Alpha, so he's going to be running for his life and hoping that they don't have radar, because the Halland doesn't have a smoke screen. Speaking of smoke screens, that's not the Worcester, is it? And those torpedoes that we saw earlier probably weren't the Worcester either. Yeah, the major threat up on this end of the map is that enemy Minotaur. He has been spotted, but not for long, because believe me, that Minotaur knows what he's doing. There's the Worcester, there's the Los Andes. So we've taken care of the Azima, we've taken care of the Schmaland. I think there's only 3 enemy ships left up here. And given that there are something like 6 friendlies up here, these guys really need to start stepping their game up. And, I mean, they've taken the cap at Charlie, but they need to secure the cap at Charlie. Either sink or drive these guys off, while they currently enjoy a 2-1 advantage against them. Because the enemy team are already flipping back. Yep, there are the Minotaur torpedoes. The enemy team are already flipping back the cap circle at Bravo. Somebody's interfering with the cap circle up here at Charlie, and the enemy team have the cap circle at Alpha. And they're not all going to go chasing after that Halland. So you need to sink these guys so you can turn around and face the threat approaching from the southwest. And we're going to start with the Los Andes. That just leaves the Worcester and the Minotaur. And I'm fairly sure those aren't Worcester torpedoes, which means the Minotaur has launched them, ducked in behind the island to the right, and is now waiting for his smoke screen to come off cooldown, while the Worcester, who is inside secondary range, which is not good news for the Worcester, is spotting for him. Oh, you don't want to be doing that, Worcester. Oh no. Oh, this is going to hurt. He's only got the front guns though, that's only 4 shots. It's probably not going to sink him, unless he gets lucky with a couple of Citadels. And in fact, he's missed completely. However, he's managed to get the funny button charged up again, because remember, it doesn't just charge up on main gun battery hits, it also charges up on potential damage received, and the pasting that he was taking from the Worcester in the meantime, and yes, the Howland down to the south has now also been sunk, means that the funny button is once again ready to go. And Zaramet definitely uses it differently to the way I do in this ship, with this captain, because he's definitely got the unique South American captain equipped, the Brazilian commander. Zaramet saves that secondary boost funny button for when he's actually got something to shoot at with it. I don't do that, at least not the first 2 times it's ready. I try to get this thing charged up as quickly as possible, and then even if there's nothing to shoot at with the secondaries, I will activate the funny button anyway. Because with this captain, as soon as you've used it twice, a special ability kicks in. And we'll see what that special ability is the second time he uses it. I'm just taking control of the camera here to see what the Jean-Bart-B is up to. He's, yep, that's 2 sets of torpedoes from one side of the Minotaur, who's in that smoke screen over there. The Jean-Bart-B's closing in. The Adatara, who just flipped the cap at oh dear, what are you doing? Why would you do that? The Adatara is a good ship, but it's not known for having great armour. It's a battle cruiser rather than a battleship after all, and, well, yeah, now it's a reef, so there's that. And that's kill number 3. So, you can see that the enemy team, after having dealt with the Howland, which did at least serve as something of a distraction, causing a bunch of them to chase after him rather than push up to the northwest. Oh, nice, the Marco Polo's taking care of the Worcester. That just leaves the Minotaur over here. Unfortunately, at least for the Jean-Bart-B, that Minotaur is rather good. And even though he has just launched 2 sets of torpedoes, it gets 4 torpedo launchers, 2 on each side. And unlike the Smalen's torpedoes, for example, the Minotaurs hit pretty bloody hard. Oh, he's got some... Again, he's only got the 2 front turrets. He's got the broadside of the Michelangelo to shoot at. 1 hit, and it's just an overpen. Right, Blitz has gone down in the Venezia. But the Brisbane's managed to take out the enemy Charles Martel. And there's the Minotaur. Got spotted by the Jean-Bart right as he ate a whole bunch of the Minotaur's torpedoes. So the Jean-Bart's down, but the Minotaur now has nobody up here to spot for him. So he's going to be getting the hell out of Dodge. There goes the funny button. Now watch what happens with this special South American captain when you activate the funny button in battle for the second time. Which is the reason why I try to get it used as quickly as possible. Those 9.2-inch secondaries, which have an increased range and rate of fire when you press the funny button, are making a real mess of the Minotaur as he ducks into cover behind the island. And there it is. Combat instructions, completion level raised. Also, the ship is now faster. Note that rather than resetting back down to 0, the funny button now resets back down to 20%, which means you can now charge it up even faster, and the ship has a speed boost. So the Minotaur's still alive, which means he's still a threat, but he's no longer a direct threat to the cap circle at Charlie. And here is where Zaramet takes advantage of some spectacularly bad luck on behalf of the Michelangelo, who fires his guns a split second after getting spotted. He could have actually done some serious damage to Zaramet there, although he almost certainly would have sunk him and would probably have died anyway. But that's kill number 4. And oh, hello, there's something else in that smoke screen. Something that's launching torpedoes. Could that possibly be the enemy Cossack? I think it might. Well, thanks to the insane maneuverability of this ship, he's easily managed to dodge those torpedoes. And we know that the Cossack has just launched its torpedoes, which means we know that Zaramet doesn't have anything to fear by pushing into this smoke screen, which means the Cossack really shouldn't be lurking around. Oh, he tried to get out, but he ran into the wreck of the Michelangelo. Oh well, never mind. So sad, too bad. There's the Kraken unleashed. Iparanga turning to give broadside in order to dodge torpedoes. That's going to end up hurting him a lot more than it's going to hurt Zaramet. There's the Citadel. And the hits on the Iparanga mean that the funny button is once again charged up, so he doesn't waste any time using it now because, well, I mean, you know, the Iparanga is basically the Tier 8 version of this ship. It is a pretty good ship, but the Los Andes is better, and Zaramet isn't given broadside the way the Iparanga is. Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear. There's another Citadel. And is this going to be a secondary kill? It is, and there's kill number 6 and the Close Quarters Expert Award. Zaramet didn't get away scot-free, of course. I mean, he took a fair amount of damage there because, well, I mean, you know, the Iparanga is still pretty good, and he's out of heals, so he's down to 21,000 hit points, and that's all he's ever going to have. The enemy Minotaurs still proving to be a thorn in everybody's side, taking the opportunity to shoot at the friendly Cossack, while everybody was focused on the Iparanga. There's an Iowa over there, and he is inside secondary gun battery range. So the 9.2-inch guns are now being focused on him. He's going for the Marco Polo. Pretty much everybody is now focused on the Iowa, because it's just him and the Minotaur left. And there's another huge opportunity for some big numbers here, because obviously the Iowa is going to be going bow into the Marco Polo, because it's a Marco Polo, which means that Zaramet has the opportunity for some lovely broadside hits here. Oh, that was actually really crap. 1 over pen. And you can see that the Minotaur is now coming to the assistance of the Iowa. He's raining death and destruction down on the Marco Polo. Honestly, under these circumstances, the Marco Polo, if he's on lower health, could think about maybe going for a ram on the Iowa. Oh, it doesn't need to. It looks like he actually set it on from the front or something. He did a ton of damage, but the Marco Polo's still alive. The Iowa is down. And that pretty much means it's now game over for the Minotaur, who has played a fantastic game, it does have to be said. But his chief advantage has been, well, making use of island cover and his smoke screen in order to rain down shots and torpedoes on targets that were being spotted by the rest of his team. And he's now the last one left alive, so he can't do that anymore. And we know this guy's no idiot, so the only reason he'd be given broadside to a battleship and taken a citadel for his troubles would be to get some torpedoes away. The secondary's just knocked out one of the torpedo launchers, but I'm 100% sure that it's too late. It's already launched the torpedoes. The Minotaur's basically going for a Hail Mary here, trying to get one more kill before his inevitable death. He's turning around to try to get the torpedoes away from the other side, but I don't think that's going to happen. And there it is, and yep, sure enough, there were the torpedoes. And that is kill number 7, and 206,000 damage done for Zaramet in the excellent Tier 9 Pan-American, although specifically Argentinian battleship, the Los Andes. Just look at those awards. I think that might be all of them, actually. 127 secondary hits. I mean, that's a lot. But if you were playing something like the Massachusetts, for example, you'd probably do 2 or even 3 times that number of secondary hits in a battle. The thing is, they wouldn't be hitting as hard as these secondaries do. So there's Zaramet at the top of the team, with 2,500 base experience. I'm actually very surprised to not see the enemy Minotaur at the top of the team. Although, to be fair, there's not a lot of difference in the scores between the top 5 enemy players, all 5 of whom scored more than 1,000 base XP on a defeat. Oh, that's got to sting. And that was a relatively close-fought match. You know, it wasn't a ruffle stomp. It definitely wasn't a game of throws. It was a well-fought match between 2 fairly well-balanced teams. But, of course, there can be only one. And today, that was Zaramet in the Los Andes. Hope you all enjoyed it. And as always, take care. And I'll catch you next time.